Welcome you all. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss about this kinematics. Okay, we will discuss about kinematics. First, we will see some of the terminologies or definitions related to kinematics. First, we will see this dynamics. What is dynamics? Dynamics is the branch of science which deals with the study of behavior of body or particle in the state of motion under the action of force system. Means it is a science. Dynamics is a science. It deals study of behavior of body under motion. Body or a particle under state of motion when it is subjected to external force system. When I apply the force to a body or a particle, then how it behaves for the applied force or the applied force system. That one we are going to study in dynamics. That motion of a body when it is subjected to force system, we are going to study in this dynamics. Dynamics is contributed from Galileo first. After later Newton formulated the fundamental laws of motion. Here we are studying the behavior of body or particle which is under motion, under the action of force system. That one Newton formulated some fundamental laws regarding motion. So we are going to study those Newton's laws also. Okay, dynamics branches into two streams. Okay, one is kinematics, another one is kinetics. You will see what is kinematics and what is kinetics now. Okay, kinematics. Kinematics is the branch of dynamics. Okay, which deals with the study of motion of bodies and its relationship with time without considering force causing motion. It is very important. Means we are not considering the force that is causing motion of a body, but we are studying the motion of bodies and its relationship with the time. Okay, but we are not omitting the force that is causing that motion, but we are studying the behavior that is caused by force system with respect to time. That is called kinematics. It deals with study of displacement, velocity and acceleration. Here all these things are related to motion, change in motion with time, like that, and so on. That's why it is dealing the study of motion of bodies and their relation with time. Okay, without considering the force system. This is called kinematics. Okay, now we will see the kinetics. Kinetics is the branch of dynamics. It is also a branch of dynamics which deals with the study of motion of bodies and its relation with time considering the force causing motion. Here three terms, that is motion of body is there, its relation with time is there, and force causing the motion. It is also we are considering. Earlier case in kinematics, you are omitting the force that is causing motion of bodies. But in this case, we are considering force system also, which is causing the motion of a body and its relation with respect to time. Hence, it deals with the means of determining forces required to produce such motion. So here it is important. Here force system come into picture in kinematics, but in kinetics the force that is causing motion, we are not giving importance to that. We are omitting force systems. Here in kinetics we are considering force systems also, that is causing motion and its relationship with time. Okay, this is the major difference between kinematics and kinetics. Once again I am repeating, in kinematics we are studying the motion of bodies and its relationship with time by omitting the force causing that motion. But in kinetics, we are studying the motion of bodies and its relationship with time by considering the force system that is causing motion of a body. Okay, this is the major difference. Okay, now we will see some technical terms in kinematics. We are studying this in this chapter. We are only studying kinematics, not kinetics. In that, we will see some of the technical terms or definitions or important terms. First, we will see motion. What is meant by motion? A body is said to be in motion if it is changing its position with respect to reference point. Then it is called as motion. Motion, we will see. We will move from Bangalore to Delhi. Let us assume I am moving or by train from Bangalore to Delhi. In that, if while moving, I am under motion because I am moving from with respect to reference point. In my case, what is the reference point? Bangalore is the reference point. Destination is Delhi. So I am moving. That is called motion. At any time, my movement will be out of Bangalore. That is called motion. Okay. Once again, you will see this definition. Motion. A body is said to be in motion if it is changing its position. This is important. Changing its position with respect to reference point. That is called motion. Next, we will see path. What is meant by path? It is the imaginary line. Okay, path is an imaginary line connecting the positions of body or particle that has been occupied at different instances over a period of time. Okay, this is meant by path is imaginary line that is connecting the positions of body at different intervals of time. Means body, when body is under motion, it is moving to different locations. If I trace that movement, then it is called a path. Okay, this path traced by body or particle can be a straight line or curve linear. Curve linear means the path may be of straight line or it may be of curved ones. That is the thing. Okay. Next, we will see this. Next term is speed. The speed of a body may be defined as the rate of change of displacement. This is important. Rate of change of displacement with respect to its surroundings. That is given by speed. Okay. Nor it is also defined as like this. The speed of a body is the rate of change of position with time, irrespective of its direction. Okay. It is nothing but rate of change of position of a body with respect to time at different intervals of time. What is its position and how it is changing its position, frequency or speed. That is the speed. Okay, how it is changing. Okay, either it covers. Let us take an example. If it covers in 10 kilometer in 5 minutes, next if it covers 7 kilometers in 10 minutes, and then it covers further 10 kilometers in 3 minutes, that is its speed, that is accelerating. We will see some other definitions associated with this speed. Okay, speed is nothing but the rate of change of position with respect to time without considering the direction. Direction is not important here. Speed, in the speed, direction may be anything. Okay, the speed of a body is irrespective of its direction. Direction, as I told, direction is whatever it may be. Direction, it is irrespective of direction, and thus it is a scalar quantity. Direction is not there. No, this it is said to be a scalar quantity. We know vector quantity having both magnitude and direction, but scalar quantity having only the magnitude but not direction. Therefore, speed having magnitude, that is the speed of a car is something like that, or speed of a bike is 10 kilometer per second per hour, like that it is given. So it is a magnitude, but direction won't be there in the speed. This is given, speed is given by distance moved divided by time interval. At that particular time interval, what is the distance moved? Or it is nothing but it is also displacement by time. It is given by displacement by time. As I told, the unit is meter per second or kilometer per hour, etc. in unit. Okay, how it is moved, but it don't have any direction, hence it is a scalar quantity. Scalar quantity, how we will define the scalar quantity? Scalar quantity is one which have magnitude but not direction. Okay, speed is a scalar quantity. Okay, now we will see this displacement and distance traveled. First, displacement definition we will see. Displacement is a measure of intervals between two locations. It is a measure of intervals between two locations or 2 points measured along a shortest path connecting them. Means here you can see this figure. Here P1 is 1 point, O is another point, P is one more point. Distances from O to P, like if I mark it as x1, this is the distance. Distance, that is the distance that is connecting O and P. Okay, displacement, this is the displacement. If a body moves from O to P, then it is displaced. What is the magnitude it is displaced? X1 it is displaced. X1 up to x1 magnitude it is displaced to P from O, we will say. Okay, now displacement can be positive or negative. If in this case we will see this figure, O is at center. If this is displacement is positive or negative. If I move from O, if I consider right side movement is positive and left side movement is negative, if I move from O to P at x1, then it is positive x1. If I move O to P1, then it is negative x2. If I consider right side is movement is positive and left side movement is negative, then right side is positive, left side is negative, then my displacement towards right is positive, displacement towards left is negative. That is what it means. Displacement can be positive or negative. Displacement has both magnitude and direction, hence it is a vector quantity. Displacement having both magnitude and direction. Here magnitude is x1 and it is moving towards right, and I am saying body is moving from O to P, that is towards right side. I am showing it in direction, plus what is magnitude? It is moved x1 distance to P from O. That's why it is a vector quantity. Okay, this is given over here. Next we will see what is distance. Displacement we say distance. Distance is a measure of interval between two locations measured along the actual path connecting them. Okay, here you can see distance is x1 is the distance here. Displacement is I am moving from O to P, that is displacement. Okay, at any time t, at time interval t. Okay, therefore distance is it is a measure of interval between two locations. Okay, distance always is a scalar quantity, because here in distance we are marking, we kept it as x. X is in right direction or left direction, we are not marking. Distance is represented by x1, like this interval between 2 points O. If I take O and P, the interval, this is distance, that is x1. So it is a scalar quantity. It don't have any this one. What is that? It had magnitude but not direction. Okay. Absolute quantity always distance we will keep the measure and we will represent always in positive. Okay. Next we will see types of displacement. Now we will see the different forms of displacement. First, linear displacement. As name says, linear means it is in straight. Straight means It is a displacement along the straight line. It is measured in meters or kilometers. That is called as linear displacement. As name says, linear means it is in straight line. Displacement is in straight line. Next is angular displacement. It is the displacement along a curved or circular path of rotating bodies. It is measured in terms of revolutions or radians. Okay, as name says, linear means straight line, angular means circular or curved. That is the associated with displacement. That is called the angular displacement, also the linear displacement. Now we will see what is velocity. It is velocity is defined as rate of change of displacement with respect to time. That is, that is called as velocity, and it is denoted by the letter V. Now, mathematically it is represented like this, that is V is equal to dx, means distance at x, that is distance over time dt, any time interval dt, that is any distance divided by time if so many are there. Also it is represented by V is equal to S by T. Here S is distance. In some books they represent like this: V is equal to S by T. S is distance divided by time T. That is the mathematical form. Velocity is always expressed in particular direction. Therefore, it is a vector quantity. Therefore, velocity is a vector quantity. It is also expressed, it has both magnitude and also direction. So we will see different forms of velocity now. First is average velocity. What is average velocity? When an object undergoes change in velocities at different instances, the average velocity is given by sum of velocities at different instances divided by number of instances. These things we already known from our this PUC we are all studied all these definitions. You will see once more. Average velocity of an object when an object undergoes change in velocities at different instances, then average velocity is given by sum of the velocities at different instances divided by number of instances. It is given by like this. This is the mathematical form. Average velocity V is equal to, these are the different velocities at different instances, that is divided by different instances n. Okay, this is also given by delta S by delta T. That is all velocities are displacements divided by time intervals. Okay, this is average velocity. Next is instantaneous velocity. What is instantaneous velocity? We will see. It is the velocity of moving particle at a certain instance of time. To calculate instantaneous velocity, x is considered as very small. Means instantaneous at a sudden, as name says, at a sudden, or it is at a small intervals also. It is instantaneous velocity. V is given by limit delta t tends to 0, means very small instance. What is the displacement or covered by a particle? That one we are finding out. That is called instantaneous velocity. Here V is equal to limit delta t tends to 0 is equal to delta x, that is displacement, divided by time interval delta t. This delta t is tending to 0. It is also in some books it is represented like this: instantaneous velocity V is equal to limit delta t tend to 0 delta s by delta t or ds by dt. Okay, now you will see acceleration. What is acceleration? Acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Okay, it is represented by a, letter A over here. That is called acceleration. A is equal to dv by dt. dv is change in velocity by change in time. That is called acceleration. Okay, acceleration change in velocity over that time interval, that is given by the term acceleration. It is said to be positive when the velocity of body increases with time. Also, acceleration is said to be negative when the velocity decreases with time. It is represented both in both the in signs, that is positive and negative. If velocity increases with time, then it is positive. If it is decreases with time, then it is negative. Okay, we will see some of the forms of acceleration. What is uniform acceleration? If a body moves in such a way that its velocity changes in equal magnitudes, if velocity changes in equal magnitudes in equal intervals of time, then it is called uniform velocity. Means if velocity v1 is equal to v1 is the velocity at time t1, and v2 is the velocity at time t2, and v3 is velocity at time t3, then v1 plus v2 plus v3 divided by t1 plus t2 plus t3, that is called uniform acceleration. All are same. If at first instance, if acceleration a1 is v1 by t1, that is, and a2 is v2 by t2, if v1 is equal to v2, then it is called uniform acceleration. Next is variable acceleration. Variable acceleration is given by if a body moves in such a way that its velocity changes in unequal magnitudes in equal intervals of time. It is said to be moving with a variable acceleration. Means if it and deceleration or retardation. What is meant by deceleration or retardation? The acceleration associated with decreasing velocity is called deceleration. This is this acceleration will represent both in positive and negative. No, this retardation will be in negative sign. If it is negative sign, then it is called as deceleration or retardation, because here velocity is decreasing. Okay. Next one is acceleration due to gravity. We will see each and every body is attracted towards center of the earth by a gravitational force, and the acceleration with which the body is pulled towards the center of earth center of the earth due to gravity is denoted by g. This is the acceleration due to gravity. All we know, everybody on the earth is pulled towards core of the earth. How fast or how in what acceleration that body is moving towards the or attracting towards the core of earth, it is called as acceleration due to gravity. The value of g is normally taken as 9.81 meter per second square. Okay. Now we will see distance traversed. What is meant by distance traversed? It is the total distance moved by a body, that is called as distance traversed. Mathematically, how we will represent? S is equal to Vt. We will see if the body is moving with a uniform velocity v, then in t time seconds, and distance traversed is given by S is equal to V into t. This is distance traversed. This is represented by S. Okay. Now we will move on to Newton's laws of motion. As I told, this kinematics is first developed by two scientists, that is Galileo and Newton. Now we will see what are the Newton's laws. These things you already know. Once again, I am repeating this. Okay. First, we will see Newton's laws of motion. In that, Newton's first law of motion or law of inertia. It is also called as law of inertia. We will see every body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted upon by some external force. Means what? If force F1 is acting on a body, then it is moving at a velocity v1 unless I will apply delta F. If I apply delta F, then change in velocity will be delta V. That is the case. That is, the body continues to be in a state of rest or in uniform motion in straight line unless an external force is acting on it. That is called as Newton's first law of motion. You will see next one, Newton's second law of motion. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to impressed force or and takes place in same direction in which force is acting. Hence, rate of change of momentum. If I apply extra force, then the momentum of a body will change. Wow, that rate how it is changing, that will depends on how much magnitude of force I have applied to that body. And again that body will tends to move in same direction. This law enables us to measure the force. Okay, m is mass of body, then u is initial velocity, v is final velocity, a is constant acceleration, t is time change to change velocity from u to v, then f is force. Then initial momentum is mu, momentum is m multiplied by u, that is velocity multiplied by mass of body. Then final momentum is given by m into v. Now the force is proportional to rate of change of momentum. We know this, f proportional to rate of change of momentum means rate comes means denominator time will come in the denominator, t will come in the denominator, numerator mv, this is rate of change of momentum, initial momentum, this is final momentum. If I deduct, then I will get rate of change of momentum with respect to time t. When I say rate means time always comes into picture. If I keep m outside, then the equation reduces to this form, m into v minus u divided by t, then r f proportional to ma. Since u minus v minus u divided by t is equal to a, so I will substitute v minus u by t as a, then f is proportional to m into a. To remove this proportionality constant, I will add k, which is a constant and will be equal to 1, then f is equal to ma. This is the Newton's second law of motion, expression for Newton's second law of motion. Okay, f is equal to ma. Now you will see Newton's third law of motion. It is very simple. To every reaction there is always an equal and opposite reaction. If I hit a ball to a ball, then how much reaction develop on a wall and a ball, that ball will return to me. That is called Newton's third law. Okay, from this we will stop at this stage. Okay, we finished some of the definitions associated with kinematics.